Good day. Today we're going to be looking at Chapter 4, the Economic and Investment Environment. The outcomes that we are going to be looking at, so in other words, what we're going to cover in this lecture, we're going to look why the economic environment is so important for businesses and the global business environment, guys. We're going to look at how countries are classified according to the economic and, by implication, political systems. We're going to look at what economic freedom comprises, and we're going to look at different levels of economic development so that we can distinguish between countries in terms of how rich they are, basically, at the end of the day. So specifically in this context, we're going to be looking at purchasing power parity in this chapter, economic growth, how inflation impacts upon a country and your ability to buy goods and services, what the balance of payments comprises, and how this impacts on a country's ability to pay its bills and spend money on other things. What is external debt, and we also look at privatization and innovation and entrepreneurship. So guys, why is economic development so important? Guys, the end of the day, the richer a country is, the better it is for doing business within that country. And the economic system that we'll look at determines to a large extent how rich a country is, but also the economic freedoms. In other words, how much you are allowed to conduct business within a particular country. So in order to measure the economic environment, you get various economic indicators that we classify countries with. And we'll be looking at those different indicators to distinguish between different countries and which countries are richer and poorer at the end of the day. But we also cannot purely distinguish between countries in terms of the amount of money that we have. We also need to look at something called purchasing power parity, which is the difference between countries in terms of how much your money will buy you in that country, and when you travel across countries' borders, how powerful the country is. And then finally, we'll look at macroeconomic issues that we are no doubt experiencing great effects of at the moment, and I will go into that in a lot more detail. So guys, what is the importance of the economic environment? Is the totality of all the economic factors: employment, inflation, interest rates, productivity, and wealth that influence buying behavior of consumers and firms in a country. As I said, guys, the totality of the economic factors: employment, inflation, interest rates, productivity, wealth, etc., that influences buying behavior of consumers and firms in a country. Bottom line is, guys, the more people that are employed, the less the level of inflation, the lower the interest rates, and the more productive people are, and bottom line, the richer they are, the more they can buy, i.e., richer countries are better for business at the end of the day. So countries differ in their wealth, guys. You can just think about South Africa in that regard. I know our provinces aren't different countries, but there are vast differences in the economic wealth of our provinces. For example, if you look at Gauteng, which is the richest province in our country, many people go there. Why, guys? To get jobs, because there's more things to do, etc., because there's more money at the end of the day. The same principle applies to countries. Countries that are richer attract more people at the end of the day. One of the countries that a lot of people try to get into is the United Kingdom because of the value of the British pound. So compared to their home currencies, they are able to buy a lot more if they are able to earn in pounds or in dollars, for example. So what is important, guys? There's a whole lot of issues here. I'm not going to go through each one of them in great detail. In fact, I'm going to go through on separate slides with the detail of each one of this. So just go through those points, guys. But the bottom line is all of them are indicative of how rich a country is. And how rich a country is, again, influences business, guys, because the bottom line, the more money around, the more money people have to spend at the end of the day, guys. So the wealth of the population, how much economic freedom, future economic prospects, etc., all influence whether it is desirable to open a business in that country. For example, if I was McDonald's, I would look at how well a country was doing before I decide to open a branch here, because at the end of the day, the question that I need to ask is whether the population of the country can afford to buy my Big Macs and chips and milkshakes, etc. So it's really important for business, the level of economic development, because poor people, guys, unfortunately cannot afford to buy goods, or at least luxury goods. So it does not mean that poor countries are necessarily unattractive to big business, guys. We've referred to it as the bottom of the pyramid, i.e., certain products are very attractive to the bottom. Everyone needs stuff, guys. So, for example, airtime, basic food, childcare products, etc., etc. So it's not as straightforward as that a country is simply attractive because it is rich, but it does influence your ability to do business in that country. As the next slide lists literally all of the different factors within the economic environment. Gross domestic product, credit, size, efficiency of capital markets, exchange rate, interest levels, inflation, foreign debt levels. So we're going to tap into a whole lot of those in the next slides. But they are all the economic factors that influence the economic prosperity, or that are indicators of the economic prosperity of a country, guys. So, for instance, we are not faring so well on a number of these factors in South Africa at the moment because of the lockdown, and businesses are closing, so people are losing their jobs. People are saving less because they have less money available to them. The rand has deteriorated against the US dollar from around 12 Rand to the dollar at the beginning of the year to now over 18 Rand to a dollar, and we buy a lot of our goods in dollars that we import. So it has a negative impact on our ability to buy goods and services in South Africa. But as I said, we will get into this in a lot more detail in the next slide. So guys, economic systems, what are they? When we vote for a political party at the end of the day, they promote a particular economic system. What is an economic system? The structure and processes used by a country to allocate its resources and conduct commercial activities. Okay. The next video is a short outline of how economic systems work and basically why it is important to understand the difference between these and which economic system a particular country adheres to. Sorry about that.
Hey guys. I'm going to start today's discussion with a question. A single-day economics class is being offered at UCI for high school seniors. This class is taught by a Nobel Prize winner in economics, and attending this class will virtually guarantee your admission to any college of your choice. There are only 12 seats available, and everyone who takes AP Economics at Esperanza High School is invited. What are 5 different ways that we decide who gets a seat in this class? Think about it. Any 5 ways. Right away, off the top of my head, I think about highest GPA, students who will major in economics, and a random lottery. But there are lots of other ways to decide this question. For example, UCI could decide who goes. The first 12 people to volunteer. Maybe we sell the seats to the highest bidder. Or maybe I, Mr. Willis, gets to decide who goes. Each of these 5 ways to determine who gets to go to this class has different criteria by which the decision is made. In allowing students with the 12 highest GPAs to go, we're allowing competition to decide for us. By allowing me to decide who goes, one person holds the power to decide for everyone involved. Even deciding by random lottery adds an element of chance or luck. This brings me to today's topic, which are economic systems. An economic system is a mechanism used by a society to determine how to best allocate scarce resources. These various economic systems help to answer the 3 essential economic questions of what to produce, how should we produce it, and for whom should it be produced. And it will answer these 3 essential economic questions based on social values and goals. In other words, what does society want and what is it looking to achieve? Today we're going to take a quick look at the 3 most common economic systems around the world. They are the free market, also known as the market economy, the centrally planned economy, also known as the command economy, and the mixed economy, also known as the Keynesian economy. Let's start with the free market. Advocated by the economist Adam Smith, the free market economy operates on its own through competition and consumer purchasing without government interference. This is a concept known as laissez-faire economics.